Ladies and gentlemen, amid India and China attempting to revitalize ties after the border standoff, but simultaneously Xi Jinping supporting Shehbaz Sharif against India, External Affairs Minister Dr. S Jaishankar will be visiting China on the 14th and 15th of July, his first visit in 5 years after the Galwan clash in 2020. Dr. Jaishankar's visit comes about 3 weeks after Defence Minister Rajnath Singh visited China to attend the SCO's Defence Ministers meeting in Qingdao. It also comes after the NSA Ajit Doval visited China for a meeting of senior officials under the SCO last month. Now, in China's Tianjin, Minister Jaishankar will participate in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization's Council of Foreign Ministers. He's also scheduled to hold bilateral talks with his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi on the sidelines. This meeting of the foreign ministers will set the stage for the SCO Leaders Summit, wherein heads of governments are expected to gather around early September this year. Remember, in the past 5 years, India and China have had multiple friction points, the most recent being China's support to Pakistan, while India carried out Operation Sindoor against terror hotbeds in Pakistan. In fact, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh refused to sign the SCO Defence Ministers' joint statement after Pahalgam attack was omitted from it. In the last few days, China's objection to Dalai Lama's succession also led to both nations reacting diplomatically. Earlier, the standoff at SC and China delaying or halting key exports to India, particularly rare earth minerals and fertilizers, have caused concern in New Delhi. What can we expect from these crucial talks, and what does it mean for the India-China relationship henceforth? Let's decode this for you on the News Hour tonight. Mr. Ashok Sajjanhar, former ambassador, joins us. Ms. Tara Kartha, former director, National Security Council, joins us, as well as Mr. Andrew K.P. Leung, international and independent China strategist, also joins us. Good evening and namaskar to all of you. Ms. Tara, can I begin by asking you how you see this visit? It is crucial. It comes at a very significant time, not just when India and China are making efforts to grow closer, but also fact that we have had inputs about how China supported Pakistan in the wake of Operation Sindoor.
Yeah, I think it's a definite shift in our policy, because if you remember last year's heads of government meeting of the SCO, I mean, it was Jaishankar who attended. And one of them, it was senior most, was him. In the foreign ministers, we had the deputy foreign minister attending it. I think it was N. Ravi. There was junior ministry official attending. So this time we've definitely upgraded the our participation at the level which it is required, which is a signal that we are probably trying to get into a positioning with China at a time when there's a lot, I won't say friction, but where the US tariffs and all that is taking on in side by side. So I think Jaishankar has mastered his art of sort of, playing, not, I won't say playing on sides, but reaching out to anybody in a crisis, reaching out to different people, reaching out to even, what one would consider as foes, considering that Pahalgam just happened and the Operation Sindoor just happened.
Okay.
To be honest, I don't see the SCO as anything much of a body. I mean, if you see their joint statements, there's nothing very much. They talk a lot about tech cooperation and all the rest of it, but I don't see much which is happening. Okay. So this seems to be a diplomatic signal more than anything else.
Okay. Ambassador Sajjanhar, these groupings, of course, are on one side, yes, they are diplomatic signals, but a lot goes on there as well. As far as India and China are concerned, do you see India calling out China on its support to Pakistan at this particular meeting? Because in the past, when Mr. Rajnath Singh had attended the SCO Defence Ministers meeting, he had refused to sign the joint statement stating that it doesn't have any reference to Pahalgam terror attack.
Yeah, thank you very much, Shreya, for having me. Pleasure seeing you on the television. So, as far as Dr. Jaishankar's visit is concerned, number one, you asked, will he be calling out China? No, meaning, these things don't happen as far as such multilateral fora are concerned. Of course, there's going to be a bilateral tete-a-tete between two leaders, Wang Yi and Dr. Jaishankar, and then, some of these aspects, some of these issues might be raised. As far as Mr. Rajnath Singh's visit is concerned and, his signing the declaration, I think we need to be very clear. The declaration was then not adopted. There was no declaration of the defense ministers meeting because all these meetings take place and decisions are taken on the basis of consensus. So if there is no consensus, there is no joint declaration. So the defense ministers meeting did not have any declaration because of this particular reason. Now, it is an important institution. SCO is an important institution. Let's not look at it only from the prism of China. China is one of the members. There are many other members. For instance, that is a platform that we can connect with Central Asian countries.
Yeah.
There are 4 Central Asian countries.
Yeah.
There's also going to be Russia. So let us not sort of, have blinkers on that it's only China and we are looking. And last time went to the SCO meeting, to the summit. That was last year. It happened in Astana, in Kazakhstan. It didn't happen in China. So, and at that time, it was just after the elections and Prime Minister Modi was busy in the parliament session. So he couldn't go at that time. So I think it has to be seen in the proper perspective. It is an important institution. We go there to advance our interests, to promote our interests, not with a large number of other countries. Iran is also going to be there. That's a member, and all the Central Asian countries.
Okay. So very pertinent points that there are other important members as well. But of course, this visit is significant because it's happening after 5 years. Mr. Leung, as far as China is concerned, what is it looking to gain from the SCO foreign ministers meet this time around?
Of course, the Indian-China standoff has been going on for many years. The border clashes, the counter-confrontation on both sides, the rivalry, geopolitical rivalry, and then Indians calibrated a kind of nuanced approach in the world, including relationship with Russia and with America. So that's been going on for a long, long time. Why is it different this time around? And I think that this time around is because the whole world order has now been totally upended. The world order based on a rule-based, commonly accepted rules of the game going on and have been driving the world economy, driving peace and stability around the world, led by the United States, but a benign United States, has now been totally upended. And the rules, fair, commonly accepted rules of the game have been thrown out of the window, replaced by rules of Tango, imposed by President Trump, not only against Americans' perceived main rival, which is China, but also on Americans' allies, traditional allies in Europe, and even friendly countries like India. So I think that that's the first major change this time around. The second major change is the importance of Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Even though at the beginning it was nothing, sort of important, but now it's assuming a great deal of importance in this changed world dynamics, because it straddles the kind of conduit, transportation, goods, and also people-to-people exchanges, and through the Belt and Road Initiative, linking China to Central Asia to Europe. And then because of the turmoil in Ukraine, the so-called middle corridor through the Caspian Sea, Turkey, is also assuming greater importance. Because that is central to the world supply and value chain. And both India and China, of course, can leverage all these dynamics. And of course, the border disputes have been going on for so long, as I said. I mean, there is no hope that it's going to translate into an immediate solution. But both leaders on both sides want to escalate, and also trying to seek common grounds, not that India would embrace China entirely or the other way around, but to take advantage of the change global dynamics so that both sides can stand to benefit from this change situation around the world.
Okay. Ms. Tara Karta, one of the sort of reasons that a lot of experts like yourselves had given at the start of the year was that Donald Trump has come in, and now, of course, one of the reasons why India and China would look to resolve their issues would also be how Donald Trump behaves and reacts in terms of, the economic tariffs that he has been slapping against countries. And it's only going to benefit India and China if they come closer. As far as, the SCO is concerned and this visit is concerned, how much do you think that would be influenced by Donald Trump and his tariffs, considering that since he's assumed power, most by this, we're talking about this, how much do you think that would influence SCO, and that SCO, becomes a counter to that sort of push coming in from the United States of America?
That's an excellent question. But I just want to make one point. See, when we discuss US-India relations, the tariffs is only one small part of it. Yes. The rest of it is going extremely well in terms of your Quad, in terms of recently you had a technical cooperation group here. So the joint working groups, which are in so many areas, that is going on. So let's not look at everything in that prism. Number two, I normally agree with Ambassador Sajanhar on almost everything, but this time I have to disagree a little. See, even in the last statement of the heads of, I think it was the heads of state document, or the Pakistan and Iran and Central Asia, and all of them supported the BRI. India stayed out. We did not we were not part of that statement. So we have a separate Central Asian summit with India. I mean, we have relations separately with them. Like I said, when they say they've got these long joint statements which talk about technical cooperation, blah, 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 and all the rest of it. And then they withdrew engineers from your mobile phone facility here. They put sanctions. I mean, they didn't let your rare earth magnets for that train project. China stopped that. So where is the sense of SCO? That's what I feel, unless this time something really comes out in terms of China saying, okay, let's do this with India. Let's, get the negative trade deficit going. Let's open up to India. Then I'll say SCO is going somewhere. But so far, sadly, with President Xi's involved in his own purges and, the latest set of purges which has gone on, I think there's chaos there. I don't expect a lot.
Mr. Sajanhar, do you want to come in on this?
Yes, definitely. No, let me first underline the points of convergence that I have with Tara. And I agree with her. Tariffs is a very small part as far as India-US bilateral ties are concerned. And even there, we are negotiating the first tranche of the BTA, of the bilateral trade agreement. And we are very close to that. So even as far as trade and tariffs with the United States are concerned, we are very close to resolving it. And of course, in addition to that, there is so much else happening, whether it is technology, whether it is defense, whether it is geopolitics, whether it is Quad, everything. And we are sort of, working together with the United States on all those aspects. The second, again, Tara mentioned about India not joining on the BRI. That has been happening since 2017, when India became a member. You will recall that when China had proposed the BRI in 2013, India had stayed away from the first Belt and Road Forum in May of 2014 for a variety of reasons, but one of the most important one was that it passed through, the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which is one of the important segments of the BRI, passes through Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. So we do not subscribe to that. And since India became a member of the SCO in 2017, this exclusion has always been mentioned. All other countries, they support the BRI. India does not because of those issues. Coming to the SCO, I agree with Tara. SCO, it started in 2001. Yes. India became a member in 2017. It has had nothing much to show. And to expect, it has potential. As has been mentioned, that it is a huge, in terms of population, in terms of territorial expanse, in terms of GDP. but it has nothing much to show on the ground. And to expect that, whatever is happening, what the United States is doing and what the other countries, the uncertainty and the turmoil in geopolitics, that SCO will somehow be able to step up to the plate and do something, I don't think it is. It is, a reasonable expectation. The last point I'll make here, Shreya, is the only, as far as we are concerned, is it brings the heads of state at these summits on, around the same table, so our leadership can meet. And here, Dr. Jaishankar will be able to interact with his counterparts from all the other SCO member countries, including China.
Okay, let me quickly get in a word from Mr. Leung, then I wrap this up. Mr. Leung, a very brief answer from you. That's the Indian perspective. But as far as the Chinese perspective is concerned, do you think the SCO can step up and be a counter to how Donald Trump has been bullying China?
Well, not on itself, of course. The SCO is only part of the overall global dynamics. Now pivoting towards the global south, which includes the BRICS Plus group. Of course, the BRICS Plus group includes India and China, but also other new member countries, including the Arab Peninsula powers, sort of like Saudi Arabia, Iran, and UAE, and of course a number of countries in Latin America also joining. In terms of GDP, aggregate GDP, not in monetary terms, but purchasing power parity, the BRICS Plus group already exceeds the G7. So the gravitas is there. And of course, both the BRICS Plus group and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization is part of the tapestry. Now, as far as the Shanghai Cooperation Organization is concerned, don't forget these are landlocked countries, but they are also very rich in resources. And what they lack is connectivity. The connectivity in terms of transport links, so that they can export their minerals and other products. And that is provided by China's Belt and Road Initiative, even though, of course, India has never signed up to it. And because of these confrontation, rivalry, suspicion. Now, I said right at the beginning that even in these platforms, there was no way that India would embrace China. But then we're now entering into a stage where it's no longer black and white, as India is navigating, is recalibrating its strategy. It's both confrontation, if you like, rivalry, if you like, but also seeking areas for cooperation.
Okay. All right, we'll leave it there. As much as we like things to be black and white, diplomacy clearly isn't black and white. We will have to wait and watch what comes out of this SCO foreign ministers meeting. Thank you very much to all of you, Ambassador Sajjanhar, Ms. Tara Karta, as well as Mr. Leung, for joining us and sharing your perspective. With that, viewers, it's time for a short break. News and updates continue on the other side.